So what I'm using today is my planner, my catch-all planner. As you know, I have my everyday planner right here. This is where I do week to week. And this is where I mark the week that we are. So this is coming up. And this is my catch-all planner. So Plum Paper has a whole section that you can add on either by in your add-on to your monthly or as a section on its own. So I added as a section, just checking if we see it properly. Yeah. So I added as a section, and it's basically called the budget. So it comes with, the first page is for you to put your bank account. I don't think I'm going to use this, but I might just put like our name of our account. I'm not sure, because I have online systems where me and my spouse, my husband, we share everything, and we can organize that way. So that might be something to start with. So I'm married, I have 2 small children, and me and my husband, we share accounts for a long time. We've been together since we're teenagers, and that's our approach. Some couples, some spouses decide to have separate accounts. It's all what makes sense to you. What I'm going to talk about is combining income, household income, and how we organize it together. We do everything from the same account, so we share everything. If you're wondering, because we're North American, credit cards and getting your scores. We come from Europe, so when we first arrived, of course, we have no scores, so we are still building it. So we try to use our credit cards for everything, and I will touch that probably at some point today. But the important part to understand is to make sure that both spouses have good credit score. We have 2 credit cards. One is in his main name, so he's the primary holder, and in one is I am the primary holder. That way, we both are helping each other, and also we're using our own cards, right? So this, there's like, I researched about this because I was new to Canada. I was like, what do I do here with credit card scores and all of that? So we figured that as long as we use our own in a lot of things, we should be fine. So that's what we're doing, because again, we're trying to make sure that both of us are building our credit scores. So again, as I was saying, the budget first page, I probably am not going to use, but I am really looking forward to doing this. And this is what I'm going to talk to you about. So what I follow, the method that we follow in this household is the 0. And I just want to make sure that it's seen well. I'm still learning on how to put this in view to you. So what we follow is the $0 at the end of the month technique. So what does this mean? So it means that we use the cash envelopes, and I say cash envelopes because technically I don't have envelopes, physical envelopes. I use an amazing system. For now, 7 years, we are members of the YNAB community, so you need a budget. I will put a referral, and you'll get I get a bonus, so FYI, I'm just being frank here, but if you get it, I think I give you an extra month free or something. You have 37 days or something to use for free, and then you can pay. So it is for Canadians. It ends up being around $130 a year for the whole year. So worth it. So I do all my finances on it. So it's an app. It's on your phone. It's on a computer. It links directly to your accounts if you want, or you can do it manually. Lately I've been just having fun just doing manually, adding all the expenses because I just love it. And the idea with YNAB, and is the idea that I follow since forever, is that every dollar has a place, as a job. So at the end of the month, you should be at 0. So that's what I'm going to explain now. And this is my new system, but I didn't complete it yet because I had done it myself on blank paper. But this is going to be for each month. For each month, what you do is you talk about what is your income. So you start balance and balance and see if you did something, your debt goals. So how much did you pay on your debt? How much you wanted to pay and how much you really paid, saving goals and all that. So this part we'll discuss another time when I fill it up. Maybe I will talk to you and show it to you. And then I like that I can what is the goals this month? And so we're doing the snowball method of debt payment. So again, I'll put a few links of this from a few books that you can read or websites. And his idea is you start by paying as much debt as you can when you're younger before you save a lot to your retirement. And we're young, both of us, we're young adults, early 30s. And basically the idea is you pay right now with everything going on, we pay more. If you're trying to save little amounts of money, you're not getting a lot in interest, and you pay a lot of interest on that. So the whole goal is we save for our retirement, of course, through pension funds, and we save for the children, a little bit for their children, like the accounts for them for studying. But other than that, we're focusing on paying all the debts. And once we have most debts paid, I'm not counting mortgage. Some people do. I don't count mortgage on my debts because for me it's like the idea of trying to pay my mortgage faster than it is already, I just can't. It just really gives me anxiety, financial anxiety, and I cannot deal with it. So I just don't consider mortgage debt. Okay, let's go with that part. And then from there, our goal is to decrease our debt. And once you have more income, then you put more on savings. So you increase your savings. So there's a whole theory. You can research on it, but that's our approach. So I really, my whole budget ideas is to try to get rid of debt and save for things that we want, so we don't use credit cards and credit, like line of credits and things like that. And then this one has a page for like your variable expenses. And I will show you how important this part is. I don't know if I will feel it constantly because again, I use YNAB for this. My online system, the app is amazing. You categorize things and then he automatically recognizes a lot of things. So you just have to click, yes, that's what it is. That is like daycare bill. Oh, that is gas bill. It's amazing. And I'll show it to you. But by the way, those are not good examples because they're not variable and we'll talk about that. But this is going to be useful to me because it looks nicer. I might even add stickers. If you know me, you know I love stickers. So I can see myself adding stickers to this. But this is going to be my monthly. So, and then it repeats every month. Okay, so this is going to be every month. And then what I want to show you is what I did at the beginning of the year to prep my 2022 year at a glance. And then from there, I use YNAB on month to month, and then I check if I'm achieving my goals. So that's how I do it. Okay, so as I was saying, I have done myself on paper before because I do not have this fancy new add-on, but now I do. But what I'm going to talk about is how I plan my 2022 budget for the whole year. So first thing you have to understand is how much money you get in. So the income, and I'm sorry, I'm hiding some things for privacy concerns, as you can understand. So we both work, so there's 2 salaries, and then we get money from Canada system for the kids. As you know, I keep forgetting the name of it, but it's, you know what I mean. If you're Canadian, you know what I mean. You get some money for your kids. And then we are very fortunate. We have a big house with an apartment downstairs, so we get rent. And that really helps us pay our bills because let's be frank, without it, I don't know if we would have picked this house because we could have, according to the banks, but one thing is what the bank tells you and another thing is what you should do financially to be wise with your money. So we decided to take this house because we had the apartment income and that to us seemed like a great deal at the time. And when you're looking at overview finances, always start by understanding how much money you get. So you do that in big numbers. Go with net. What do I mean by this? Don't go by what your like you go by what your paycheck says at the end. Don't go with the gross. Like you know when you get a job and they tell you, oh, you're gonna make $50,000 a year. That's not what you're gonna make. That's what it is there, but that's gross. You need to look at the net. So what you do is you look at your paychecks and you do an average of that for the year. Okay. If you've paid every week, you're gonna have 52 payments, right, in a year. If you're paid every 2 weeks. This is where I like that one, and that's our system. And little tip, every 2 weeks does not mean that you get paid 24 times. You would assume, if you think about it, right, there's 12 months, twice a month, that means 24. Well, every 2 weeks and twice a month is a different business, okay? Every 2 weeks means that there's 2 extra payments in the year. So it is 26 payments in the year. I come from Europe. In Europe, is once a month you get paid. So I was very surprised when I learned that here, if you paid every 2 weeks, you get extra. It was very confusing to me at the beginning, but now it makes sense. I see why. It adds up to what it should be. but it's just a different way. So if you paid every 2 weeks, just know that there's 2 extra payments. In fact, this is very important for the expenses as well, because if you have, for example, if you have a mortgage and you chose every 2-week payments, sometimes they call that aggressive biweekly. This means that you'll have extra 2 payments a year. And that is awesome if you're trying to get rid of debt faster, because that means you're paying extra and that means less interest in the long run. If you are more worried about like, can we make it and all of that, maybe just choose twice a month. We went with the aggressive system for almost all our credits, like anything that we have to pay, because we did the calculations and we could afford it. But it's still really important for you to figure out what can you afford or not, looking at all your expenses. So once you have all your income figured out, then you are able to do it by month and annual. And this is where it's important to look at like the net. So here, the annual, if you know, oh yeah, but I'm paid $50,000 a year. Well, you're not. You probably paid, depending on of the rest of the household income and depending on what you get, you might get like 30,000, 35, 40,000, depends really of your overall finances in your house income. But it's quite different. So I put that in there. So I have an idea. Okay, this is how much money per month I have to spend. Then you look at your fixed expenses and then your day-to-day, and I call it my wish farm, but I will explain in a second what it is. And that all add up, there should be a balance, okay? So how does that go with? When we look more in detail, I'm just gonna move this so I can open it. So again, I'm very open. You're gonna see here my mortgage amounts and stuff like that. I don't care. This is my fixed expenses. This is important to do. And you'd be surprised when you do this, when you figure this out, you're going to be surprised how much really you do that you can know in advance, like how many expenses you know you can organize in advance. So you put them all, like you write everything. You look at your credit cards and you look at your checking accounts and you go through a few months and find out all the little expenses that you have that are fixed. Some of them will be every month, some of them will be every 2 weeks, some of them will be annual basis, but you put them in here, okay? How do you do that? Like the easy ones, of course, is rent or mortgage. That's an easy one, right? You have the monthly, probably, or every 2 weeks. So for us, it's every 2 weeks, so I put an average. And I know there's 2 extra payments, and I just have that in my mind. Then we have a green loan. I love that term, I know. We did some renovations in the house to get the house more green, and therefore I have a green loan that we're trying to pay aggressively. And then all the little expenses. Car insurance, house insurance, by the way. If you're in Canada, you will get this and you'll get enraged like me. My car insurance increased by like a lot. So I have to redo this just because of that one, and it's driving me insane. And I'm shopping around to figure out if there's better, but apparently not really. Car insurances just went up. So I put them all here, small or big. So, you know, Spotify, my internet, Netflix, all of those things, my telephone, my kids' RSPs, my daycare, like all of the bills that I have. Then at the end here, I have what my bills are, either annual or on a regular basis throughout the year. So I have water, where I am is every 3 months. So I have the amounts, and then I transform it into monthly costs so I can have an idea for how much it would cost per month. And then I have my big stuff that is per year. And so when you add all of this up per month, this is how much per month. It's fixed expenses. Like, doesn't matter what. So for me, for example, I have to redo this because I know it's a bit higher now. But let's say when you add all of this, this is how much per month. It's fixed. No matter what, this is how much I pay. So if you're having troubles, and if you're living month to month and you're having a lot of troubles with your finances and making months meet, you can start by looking here. Can you cut something? So if I was short on cash, could maybe I stop paying for Spotify and just try to go on the free version? Could I get rid of my husband's Xbox Live? Like he pays this per month and then he has access to all the games. Like this is things that we can afford because we can afford it. But if needs be, we could cut down on it. So you can look in here to see if there's something that you can work on. Daycare bills. I cannot wait for my kids to grow a little bit. People say that kids become more expensive, but I'm pretty sure there's a sweet spot between age of 6 and age of 12 because my goodness, aren't kids expensive? Daycare is just unreal how much it costs. But that's okay. We chose to have kids, right? You choose, you gotta deal with it. So this is our fixed expenses. So doesn't matter which month we're working on, this is how much you'll get out of it. Once we accept that this is it, so we accepted that these were expenses that we wanted to take, this is how much we always spend every month on fixed expenses. This is a great exercise for you to really see how much you spend per month on fixed things. And it's always surprising how high it becomes. And then it's, again, a play around, can we afford all of this? Then this is what, this is where you can play more around with money, okay? This is where you can budget better. This is the area that, we could work on this. So I'll start with the day-to-day. Day-to-day things is your bills that every month you have to pay for this type of thing. You always have to eat. So you always have groceries. Believe it or not, I know this seems high. I cannot go lower. We are 4 of us and a dog and a cat. And somehow we like to eat nice too. And, it's Canada. I don't know why, but prices keep going up. And this doesn't even seem realistic and it's very annoying. But this is what we have for day to day. So groceries, gas, eating out, activities with kids, clothes, household stuff, pets, fun activities. We like to have fun. Anything to do with medical, charity, hairdresser, allowance. So allowances for me and my husband. Yes, we give each other allowances. It's kind of funny, but that's like free money that we get to spend in whatever we want. So me, in planning, I end up spending in stickers. That's pretty much what I do. Stickers or coffee. I considered coffee my allowance because I am a heavy coffee drinker. So if I go out for coffee, that's part of my allowance. It's not eating out. But if we go out together, that will be eating out, right? So again, this is my day-to-day. You need this. It doesn't matter the month. You will need to have these things. The amount, though, this is where, if you're being careful with your money, you're budgeting right, you can play around with this. You can look throughout the various months and see, can we cut down on groceries? Can we maybe go less out and not spend so much on eating out? And by eating out, it's COVID time. So really, what do? We eat in. Area that, by the way, see that I don't have here anything is because when I did my budget, I realized that we don't have enough money for a wish farm. What got me really sad, I had an anxiety attack that day. I was like, okay, how can we do this? So we talked about it, and we had to make some decisions on how we're gonna live our year with the wishes. So wish farm, as the word says, is the wishes that we have. So we want to build a shed. By we, my husband wants a shed, and we also, of course, always have to do car maintenance. I have sorry for the word, but it comes from YNAB. I love this term in the community. Oh shit, fun. This is basically, I try to keep this envelope full, and something happened. Oh, the car needs an extra fix that I didn't know. There you go. Oh, the kids, my kid had his glasses, broke her glasses. Oh, there we go. We can pay for an extra pair. Birthdays, Christmas. So this is how much I would like to spend next Christmas. By the way, I try to really keep it low, but with 2 kids, 2 pets, and close family, it adds up. So I'm trying to save for Christmas. And the whole idea this comes from YNAB, so you need a budget. The envelope system is for you not to have surprises. So you're trying to reduce the amount of surprises in your budget. So you're prepping for things like birthdays. I think this, in fact, is really low. Kids get invited to birthday parties all the time. You have to spend on birthdays. So I try to prepare that. If you see here, a ring is like, oh, she's married. My engagement ring is broken over 2 years ago, 3 now, I think, and I have not fixed it because it was too much money. And I can't give so much money for fixing a ring. So I just have my wedding band. But at some point I wish I could. So this is the $1,000. And you're like, oh, it's just $1,000. Yes. But if you're budgeting properly and you have other dreams like going on vacation for me, creating those moments is more important than fixing a ring. So here we are. So this is what we call a wish farm. You can call it whatever you want, okay? There's other terms that you can use, but we call it a wish farm. And from here, we came up to realize we don't have enough money in our budget. It's hilarious when you think about how much money we make. But yes, according to our fixed expenses that we did together and our day-to-day, what we wish for, we don't have money for, and we don't want to go on debt, so we have to figure it out. So this is where the whole discussion as a couple comes in, and we decide what to do. So the realization came that, okay, the shed, we cannot build it on savings. We're gonna have to get a loan. By the way, we don't have a car loan. We only have mortgage and a green loan and our student loan. So that's the evil for us, and I'll explain in a second. So this is where, as a family, you have to go and write all of this down, put all of it down, all your expenses and your day-to-day, and then what is left, can you save somewhere for something? And if you're really tight on cash, this is going to be empty. Understandable. I mean, you should at least have the birthdays and Christmas so you can organize stuff like that. But you're not going to have a lot of money for wishes, like vacations or, buy a new computer, things like that. So you will then, if you start using YNAB or if you start planning your finances really well every month, what's going to happen is from your fix, you might try to take a couple of things out. And then from your day-to-day, you're going to try to reduce it. So, spend less on eating out. Don't buy so many clothes. Like reduce your fun activities. Doing that, you will then have a little bit of extra that you can put on your wishes. This is a very important exercise to do for you to be more successfully financial. And also, if you are thinking this over, at the end, the idea is to have $0. At the end of my month, my whole goal is to have absolutely zero to allocate. I want to be able every month to allocate all my money. So in YNAB, my app online, I have all these envelopes. I have a bunch of envelopes that, as you see here, these are all my envelopes, and I have a few extras, I think. And I just put money every month on it. So I have the ones that like the fixed ones are very easy. A paycheck comes, I put it on. Like I go, goes to my fixed ones because I know when they come, I have their dates. I have a dashboard that I keep and I know the dates where they come. So January, now I need to add February ones because I already knew. But I add, it's a bit dirty, I need to fix it. But I basically add all my fixed expenses. I pay them off as the dates come with the paychecks. And then that's where I look, okay, this month, can we save somewhere so I can put extra in one of my Wish Farm envelopes? So that's how you budget when you're trying to save for something, when you have saving goals. This is saving goals. Of course, for some of us, that is not possible. I know I am a very privileged white woman. I will totally say that out here. And I can afford a lot of my Wish Farms. And I can do it even without going on that. So I know that I'm very privileged and we're quite good middle income families. So I know that this sounds... it might sound condescending, so sorry if that comes across like that. That is not what I want to do. Believe me, I came from a broke family, really poor. I had to work 3 jobs during my university degree, so I know what it is to not be able to make ends meet. But I learned really early that if I budget and if I organize my money cent by cent, I will get better. So this is the whole idea, and that's where we are right now. And our goals, financial goals, are quite big, so we're trying to slowly get there, and that's why we are quite frivolous. We don't have 2 cars, we have 1 car. We live with 1 car in Canada, but it's kind of hard in small rural areas, but we do. We are in a small city and we only have 1 car. We don't go out all the time. We try to in fact not go out a lot, but we do have like Fridays takeout, so that's where the money goes, is to Fridays takeout with kids. I drink, my husband doesn't drink, but so that's always again a safe, but I try not to buy a lot of alcohol because again, Canada, very expensive. So we do try to save in certain areas to make us be able to have our Wish Farm. I'm also an immigrant, so I want to visit my family, and for that, I need to save money for vacation. So plane tickets are obscene, and it's COVID time, so goodness knows what's going to happen, so trying to figure that out. So this is how we do our finances for the year, and as I said, and it's here again, let me go back to the original page. As you can see here, you basically are going to take your income, your expenses, so the fixed expenses, the Wish Farm, and day-to-day. See here that there was a problem because this adds up to not enough. And then the idea is to get to 0, okay? This and minus all of this per month should equal 0. Shouldn't have any balance, okay? So I put there the money just because I wanted to know the totals so I could then play with the Wish Farm, but technically at the end it should be 0. So anyway, I hope this helps you understand how you can do an overcast for your finances for the year, budget your year, and then work on trying to cut costs in certain areas that you can. So this comes from free downloads that I found online and is called debtfreecharts.com. I love this, guys. They're so adorable. And I printed them on sticky paper and then I just stick her here. And basically this is to track my credits. As I said, we're trying to live without a lot of credit, a lot of debt. So we have 2 loans other than mortgage. Again, remember I did say I don't count mortgage because it would be too depressing. Let's be frank. So instead, I count my 2 loans that I have actually. So the green loan. So this was the starting balance. And then you take the starting balance, you divide it by 100, and that gives you every little square, little box is this much. So then you just color. So we passed the 25 mark and now we're here. So what I love about this is this one that I chose from a bank. I can make extra payments. So sometimes we can extra payments, and that's awesome because that gives me the opportunity to pay faster. So we have done that a couple of times, but our goal is to finish this as fast as we can. So we're getting there. And then the evil one that I absolutely hate is my student debt. So this doesn't count my husband, this is just mine because again, I was trying to separate them. We pay them together because we've been together since that time. So it's kind of our debt together. I was on my own and it was in Europe in a very expensive country. So if you don't know this maybe, but European universities is pretty much free. So I'm always sad when I talk to my colleagues in Canada, and I know US is even worse, and we discuss how much you pay for university. It is so unfair that you guys here in North America pay so much for university. That is just wrong. European countries have this idea that studies, like university, should be available to all. So we're more socialist in that way, and I so agree with it. So I have a high student loan for European standards because it was for the cost of living. So it was not the university itself that cost a lot, but where I was living was very expensive. Even with jobs, I had to take loans. So the good thing is this is government loans. What does this mean? Where I did my studies, the government backs you up on your loans, and the interest rate cannot exceed 2% annually. So it's awesome. We pay almost no interest. Like I pay maybe 100 something euros per year on interest. It's amazing. Right now with COVID, they even put it at 0. So right now there's no interest in my student loans. So every month I have a fixed amount that leaves my accounts in Europe. So what we do is every 3 months we send money over there to pay our student loans. And I finally passed the 50%. I'm just so excited. Like this was for me a big deal. I am now in the 9,000 something. So I'm so happy that is going down. The problem with this is that it's in euros. So if you do not know this, Canadian dollar to euros, it's sad. So I think my monthly payment is this. Seems really low, 141.48. Yeah, but this is in euros. So it ends up being 240 or something like that. It's almost double. Like not double, sorry, but it's 50% more in average, or more than 50%, because oftentimes a euro is 1.55 Canadian or something. So imagine, it adds up. It's very hard for us. It's definitely our hardest debt, but we're getting there, and I'm showing you because I'm open about it. And the thing about this one is because the interest is so low, I make no extra payments. So in any other debts, in fact, we only have one now, but we had credit lines before. We paid it as fast as we could because interest rates are so high. So the rules around the debt rule, like trying to get rid of your debt as fast as you can, is you pay the highest interest first, and then you pay the low interest. Because this one, even though there's an exchange rate and that changes all the time, even though it is very high, I pay almost no interest on this. I pay so much more interest on this that is for me it's worth it for me to concentrate on this first and this. So again, because this is a government backed up loan, the bank basically stipulates you have to pay whatever you have in 10 years. So this is my amount for 10 years. And so my 10 years are up in, well, I think it's 2027. I don't know anymore. I have to go check. But anyway, I'm halfway there. It's all it counts. And yes, if in a couple of years or if we get very lucky and our finances improve in 2-3 years, I might do a lump sum payment on it. But chances are I will not, and I will rather put it on my mortgage again, because this, like, it makes sense financially because of the interest rate, right? So my husband also has a loan. His is not as high, thank goodness, and his is going to be ending earlier than mine because he started working before me, because I'm a bit younger. But by a bit, I mean a year. But he didn't do a master's like I did. He did a 1-year master's. I did a 2 years. So YNAB. So anyway, so I just wanted to show you my finances and how I work, and how I'm going to be doing this is coming to the wrap up. So to wrap up, as I was saying, I was talking about my 2022 financial goals and how I plan my budget for the year. And on every day, pretty much every day, but let's say every 2-3 days, I go on my app and I control our expenses. So that's what I love to do. And is my favorite thing of the day, really. I sit down and I check how much did we spend. And for that, this video is really long already, so I am not going to cover that more. But in the next video, we will discuss on how to do it on a monthly basis. So this is my annual stuff. And then every month, I go and check. So I will show you how I do that on another video. I hope this is informative to some of you and that you like it. Please ask any questions. I will put all the links to different things to different readings or to the app that might help you. If you think $130 is affordable to you for a year, I really would invite you to use YNAB. And you can, if you use my referral, it will help you. You have like a trial period, so if it doesn't work for you, you can cut it out totally. If you're a student, it's free for you. While you're studying, they will give you a whole year for free. So strongly advise you, if you are a university student, oh my goodness, do it. Because you have, as early as you can, start preparing your planning, the better financial planning, the better it is, especially with Canada and US student loans. It's misery. So if you figure out your budget, that will be very helpful to you. I hope this was helpful to you, and thank you again for being here with me. And if I can just say it, please consider subscribing. I hope to be doing a monthly and maybe bi-weekly check-ins on budgeting and give you some tips and ideas for you that maybe will help you achieve your financial goals. Bye.